Hey guys, fishing and stuff. Today I got some awesome PVC hacks for you. Yeah, that PVC, it's always awesome. So stick around. Today I got 7 awesome PVC hacks. You gotta love PVC hacks. And remember, you can always paint PVC and you can buy furniture grade PVC that comes in any color you want. You can get the pipe in any color and you can get the joints in any color. Well, let's quit wasting time talking about PVC and let's jump right into it. PVC hack number 1. Alright, on this PVC project, if you're like me and you're always building stuff out of PVC, or if you just done some plumbing in your house or something and you got some stuff left over, if you happen to have 2 T's and 4 end caps of the same size, no matter what size it is, take you a piece of pipe just like it and cut you one piece 2 inches long. This just happens to be 1 inch PVC because that's what I got laying around, and cut 4 pieces about 1 inch long. After you get those pieces cut, put the 2 inch piece in between those 2 T's, then use the 1 inch pieces to connect your end caps to the T's. The way a marker buoy works is you got a piece of lead on it, you got string, it lays flat on the water, but the lead pulls it and makes it flip until it reaches the bottom and it marks your spot. The marker buoys you buy come with a lead weight that you can wrap around it to hold it together. But all you need to do after you put this together is wrap some string on it and get you some kind of lead weight. Now I make my own dragon weights. My favorite way to make dragon weights is with the solid core lead. I even actually made a video about it, and you can buy this stuff in 1 or 5-pound rolls. And something else most people know is you can cut PVC with a hacksaw, of course, but these little tools that they sell to cut PVC with work really good, and they make things quick. PVC hack number 2. Alright, so I cut up a piece of scrap board I had. I think this is 1x4. Now I'm just going to screw it all together because I need a jig for my next PVC experiment. For this next part, you probably want to pre-drill it so your screws don't split the wood. Alright, so I got my 2 little jigs screwed together. Ain't nothing fancy about them, just old 1x4s. Well, something that would work just as good is a piece of angle iron. I got this aluminum angle iron. This particular piece of aluminum is the piece of aluminum that was left over from the rod holder base build I did. You know these rod holder bases right here? Them right there. But for this video, we're just going to use these wood jigs I built because most people can do this easier than they can come up with a piece of angle iron. Now, something I'll mention if you want to use angle iron, you see this radius inside of this angle iron right here? I'm not sure what the radius is, but the outside of this same piece of aluminum does not have a radius. It's just square. That's not going to work for what I'm doing because they won't butt up together right. This right here's what I'm talking about. I need these 2 pieces to butt up tight together. I'm going to sand the back of one of them and I'm going to sand the inside of the other one. Alright, so I got the outside of this one pretty smooth, and I smoothed out the inside of this one. We only need one side smooth. You'll see why. Alright, so I got me a 1/4 inch piece of PVC, and I got my cheap little Walmart toaster oven heating up. Now I'm gonna throw this PVC in the toaster oven, and we're gonna heat it up. And when it gets soft, we'll be able to cut it in half with a pair of scissors. You see how the end's starting to warp a little bit? It's just about ready now. Alright, now that we got it cut in half, I put it back in there to get it soft again. As soon as it gets soft again, we're going to take it out. We're going to clamp it in between our little jig. ain't never done this before, but what I did is I put a clamp on this side and I put a clamp on this side. That way it pulls it equally on both sides. And what should happen when our PVC cools down, it should take the form of these boards. But now we gotta let it cool down just a minute and then we're gonna see what it turned out like. This is what we end up with. It's pretty cool. It's a piece of angle iron. Well, it's a piece of angle plastic. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark this thing off now the way I want it shaped. Then I'm going to take a bandsaw, or you can take a hacksaw, or you can take a lot of stuff. It's just plastic. And trim it down to the way you marked it. Alright, when you're done cleaning it up, you have something like this. Next, I got this little piece of steel. It's an 1/8 inch thick, and it's about the same width as the base of my fillet knife. What I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this thing up, and I'm going to stick it through this little shelf. Anyway, when you're done, you can make yourself a little tool rack for your boat. And the variations of the ways you can make this is endless. I mean, it's up to you how you want to make it. But these little tool racks that go on boats get really expensive. I mean, some of them get pretty high up there. It amazes me all the things that you can do with PVC. PVC hack number 3. Now this next PVC hack is pretty dang awesome. I did it on a video a while back, and if you hadn't seen it, go over and check it out. It's actually a really cool DIY. But I made a knife sheath for my fillet knife, and I made it with PVC pipe. I used the same toaster oven that I just used, and I put it together, and it turned out really awesome. Now I made my knife sheath for a Dexter knife, but you could do this hack on any fillet knife that you want. And there's a lot of variations that you could do. That thing looks good. Now on that hack, I built a Kydex press. You need a Kydex press or something like it. In order to form this sheath. But that's a really cool PVC hack that's worth going and checking out. PVC hack number 4. On this hack, I wanted to talk about another hack I did, and I actually did it on my bucket video. I don't know if you've seen it, but the bucket video was pretty cool actually. But in case you didn't, I made a hack with a bucket and with some PVC, where I took some PVC and I cut it in different lengths, and I stuck it in the bucket like a honeycomb pattern, and I had to use all different sizes to make it fit. But when I was through with it, man, it turned out pretty dang awesome. And this bucket and PVC hack turned out a lot handier than I ever thought it would. I actually still use it a lot. But get you a bucket and some PVC and make you a little rod bucket. Pretty dang cool actually. Hey guys, if you ain't been on my channel before, go over there and check it out, because I got a long list of DIYs and you'll probably find something you like. And if you do, click subscribe and ring the bell so that YouTube can notify you when I post videos and you can watch them. Besides, ringing bells is fun. See, that right there is awesome. PVC hack number 5. Okay, on this next PVC hack, you're going to need 2 90-degree angles. And you're going to need as many T's as you want. I mean, you might want 100, I don't know, but as many as you want. How many is up to you. Now, the size we're going to use depends on the size pipe we use. And the size pipe depends on the wall thickness of the pipe. This one here is 1 1/4 inch, but you can see it has a real thick wall, so the inside's kind of small. Now, I've used 1 1/4 inch before, but I used thin wall, and I actually built a rod rack with it on my first PVC video, and it turned out really cool. This one here is 1 1/2 inch, but this 1 1/2 inch pipe is thick walled. This 1 1/4 inch is thin walled, and as you can see, the inside diameter is pretty close to the same. So you can use the 1 1/2 inch thick wall, you can use the 1 1/4 inch thin wall, but I wouldn't use the 1 1/4 inch thick wall, because I think the hole's going to be too small on the inside. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is take my 1 1/2 inch PVC pipe and I'm gonna cut me 4-inch pieces. Well, after you get your 4-inch pieces cut, however many you need, now we're gonna put all this stuff together. And after you get this thing put together, it looks like this. It's got 90 on each end, and it's got a T where each rod goes. A rod goes on the end too, by the way. But now you can put pipes up here, or you can leave them like this. You can put short pipes on it, or you can put long pipes on it. You can pick any pipe size you want according to the handle or whatever you're putting in it. I've seen these online where people use different length pipe for different things, and I've seen them where they use all the same length pipe and they work good either way. This right here is a freaking awesome one that somebody spent a lot of time on. But these things work really good. And if I was gonna mount it, I'd get me some pipe clamps, go in this section right here. They're stainless steel. They don't cost a lot, and you can find them at any hardware store, and that would be a perfect way to mount it. But if you didn't want to, you could just drill holes through this PVC and screw it right to the wall. This would be a great rod solution for people that don't have a lot of floor space. PVC hack number 6. On this PVC project, I got a T, I got 2 end caps. I got this right here because I couldn't find a flat end cap. Flat end cap would work just as good, but I needed something flat. I got this bungee rope that I've had for a long time. You can just buy an old bungee cord and use it. I got an old pool noodle. And of course, you're gonna need some pipe the same size as your joints. You're gonna need a piece of felt. Doesn't matter what color, that's up to you. And you're gonna need a 100-pound magnet or a 90-pound magnet, I think. I got this one at Harbor Freight. First thing we're gonna need to do is attach our magnet to the base cap. Now I'm gonna use a bolt to do that, and I'm gonna have to drill a hole in this to do it. Next, I'm gonna take my magnet and I'm gonna set it on my felt. I'm gonna draw around it and then I'm gonna cut it out. And as you can see, takes the whole dang table. That magnet's pretty secure, but it's not going to scratch your car now. Now we want to screw our little adapter to it. We're going to snug this down good. We're going to cut us a piece about 2 inches long and then put our T on it. Now we just need to cut 2 pieces about 3 inches long for either side. Now I'm going to take this pool noodle and I'm going to leave about a 1/2 inch on each side. I'm going to cut me a piece off, split it. Then we're going to have to cut out the center for this section right here. So basically it'll fit on here good. Alright, we got 2 end caps right here and we need to drill a hole in them. But we gotta drill it big enough for our bungee cord to fit into. We're gonna take a piece of bungee cord, we're gonna wrap it all the way around this thing, put our end caps on, and then tie a knot. Don't try to put your end caps on until you get it all tight and get your knot tied. We'll put our end caps on after that. And now we got ourselves a rod carrier. Make sure this strap's tight, because when you put your rods in it, you don't want them moving around. You see what I mean? These rods ain't going nowhere. Now you could make this PVC project as big as you want. You could even put 2 magnets on the bottom. Make sure you put felt on them so they don't scratch your car up. But they sell these things and they're not cheap, but it's not that hard to make. And there's all kinds of different variations you could come up with. But these things work really good for people that just have cars and don't have a truck. And they would work really good on top of a SUV. PVC hack number 7. I was out one day and I ran into one of my subscribers at an outdoor store, and he had this awesome boat bumper. Well, he showed me how he made it, so I'm taking my boat bumper and I'm gonna make one too because I think it's pretty cool. But my boat bumper is dirty. This is actually mold. That's pretty gross. I'm gonna have to clean this thing off. I went up to the house and stole my wife's Clorox cleanup, and I'm gonna spray it down and let it soak in and see if we can get this mold off of here. Well, this thing looks pretty dang good. I might have to leave this down here in my building. Well, now we're ready to do our PVC DIY. And what we're gonna need for this project is some 3/4 inch pipe. We're gonna need 8 90-degree angles and 2 teeth. All right, the first thing you do is you measure your bumper, see how long it is. Mine's 22 inches. Then see how tall it is. Mine's 7 inches tall. And you cut your 2 pipes the height of it, 2 pipes the length of it, 22 by 7, exactly the same size as your bumper. Then we need to put those together. After we get our bottom part built, which is our housing for our bumper, we're going to take a couple tie straps and we're going to put our bumper in there. So now we got our little bumper tie strapped in there. We got the bottom casing done on our little bumper project. Now you got to go to your boat to figure out the top. Now you come up beside your boat. When you go to the lake, you know where most docks are going to hit at on the side of your boat. That way you know how long to cut your other pieces. So when you're done, you got your little frame for your bumper down here. You got your little hook for your top. And this piece here keeps it from coming off the boat. And I know somebody's going to ask me the measurements, but I can't tell you the measurements. This bottom part is built according to the size of your bumper. And this top part is made according to the measurements on your boat. But anyway, when you're done with it, if you lean it back, put it on your boat, and it hangs there perfectly. The cool thing about this is it cannot come off. And another cool thing about it is if you turn it around backwards, you can hang it inside your boat when you're going down the lake. Well, those PVC hacks turned out awesome. You know you about to run out and buy some PVC. Admit it. Hey guys, I appreciate you watching. If you hadn't yet, don't forget to subscribe so you can check out all my DIYs.
Click subscribe, people. What you waiting on? What you waiting on?
And as always, I appreciate you watching. Shut up, bird. And I'll see you on the next build.